So guess what that secret hotel bill from Meghan Markle's Paris Fashion Week stay just popped up, and someone from the hotel whispered it was never meant to be seen. But now it's out and the fancy act is totally ruined.
This woman is really not oppressed. She's opportunistic.
Like, can you believe it? There were thousands of euros spent on a fancy penthouse designer stuff and private guards, and Meghan just kept quiet about who paid for it. Like, she was never gonna tell at first.
Maybe Harry's no use to Meghan anymore. Maybe the divorce rumors are actually true.
Everyone thought, oh, it's just another celeb. Spending story all shiny and normal. But then the reporters kept digging, and things started to look super weird. Like, something just didn't add up. So then get this Balenciaga. The brand Meghan was said to be repping totally denied it. Her team went all quiet, and those leaked bills showed someone else had paid a man some company. And that money trail went way past Paris, right into Hollywood's secret circle.
Meghan Markle is always attempting to, shall we say, build relationships with very rich men.
To them. Say Meghan was crying and Harry was shocked and super mad. But the real question is, who actually paid for that fancy suite? And why would anyone risk their name just to make her look perfect at Paris Fashion Week? Because those papers with all the bills and names might show how deep the fake sparkle really went and what she had to lose to keep it shining. And when the truth spilled, it didn't just end a trip. It started a wild storm nobody was ready for.
Harry just can't give her anything else anymore. He served his purpose. His purpose is over. So it's time to move on.
So in Paris, Meghan Markle showed up all glam for her big comeback. But someone at her hotel leaked secret bills that didn't add up. And when Balenciaga said they didn't pay, the whole thing exploded online, and her team was totally lost.
Wow, let's make a new Netflix series and story out of Harry's demise. Ooh.
For the first time since she left the royals, Meghan Markle couldn't control the story, and when Paris Fashion Week turned into a mess, everyone kept asking who paid, who planned it, and who leaked it. Because her big comeback was supposed to show power and grace, with every picture and outfit perfectly planned. But behind all that shine, the truth was hiding in one hotel bill that didn't fit the story she built. And when that one paper came out, everything started falling apart, and the whole perfect act began to crumble right in front of everyone.
During her Paris Fashion Week appearance, which was another desperate and craven attempt to grab the limelight, while William was getting some good publicity.
It all started super quietly. Just an email from some mystery person to a European reporter with hotel papers showing every little thing from Meghan's stay. And at first it looked normal, but then stuff didn't match her story. The names, the payments, even the notes were weird. Like someone else was paying for it. And when people online saw those papers, they went wild, trying to connect the dots. And suddenly her glam trip looked like it was secretly funded by someone hiding in the shadows. Her team went silent. No calls, no posts, nothing. And everyone started asking the same thing, who really paid for all this. And then boom, out of nowhere, a new name popped up, and everything changed again.
It's so odious, it's beyond belief.
Absolute media manipulation. But I thought tonight, this was really ridiculous. These are...
So the papers only had a few tiny initials that looked harmless at first. But when reporters dug deeper, they found out those letters pointed straight to a super rich guy from Los Angeles. Someone who used to hang out with Meghan long before she became royal. And everyone started calling him Mr. X because he secretly paid her Paris bills through another company to hide his name. And when that truth reached her team, it was chaos. The room went silent. She was pacing, crying, trying to figure out who snitched. And Harry was completely shocked because he thought the whole trip was planned clean and official. But now everything felt like a lie, and their trust started breaking apart fast. What was meant to be a glowing comeback turned into a crazy storm, full of secrets, money trails, and whispers. And the second the story hit the internet, it spread like wildfire with hashtags, calling it betrayal, news shows, breaking it down, and people everywhere guessing who Mr. X really was. Her team tried to deny it, but their voices sounded weak, like they were scared the truth was already out, and there was no way to stop it.
Always stay with the man if there's no better option. I know that they have troubles in the marriage. I understand from now 6 separate reliable sources that Harry called in law.
So right after the story exploded, it was like the internet started erasing her life in real time. Old press releases vanished, interviews got pulled down, photos disappeared from fashion sites like someone hit delete on her whole comeback, and everyone online started whispering that her team was desperately trying to clean the mess before it got worse. Inside closed doors, things were totally wild. People said there were endless calls, late-night meetings, and panic everywhere. Her team sitting around tables trying to figure out what to do next. Should they deny it? Should they explain? Or should they just go completely silent? But nothing felt safe. Silence made her look guilty. Denial could expose more. And being honest was way too risky because the truth was already running faster than they could catch it in public. The once perfect couple started to look different. The smiles looked stiff. The warmth was gone. People at charity events noticed how they barely stood close anymore. And then came the whispers that Harry didn't even hear about Mr. X from her, but from the news, and that hit him like a punch. Everyone could see something was breaking between them, while on the other side, fancy brands and high society friends began backing away. Fast, invites stopped coming, partnerships paused, and people acted like they barely knew her. Nobody wanted their name mixed with her mess anymore. And suddenly, the woman who once owned every headline now looked like she was fading out of her own story. Her fans tried defending her, but even some supporters went quiet because it was all too much, too fast. And for Meghan, it was heartbreaking. She was crying and scared, feeling like everything she worked for was slipping away again. Friends told her to hide, to go silent until the world forgot. But the internet doesn't forget. It just keeps spinning, and the more she stayed quiet, the louder everyone else got. And soon people weren't just talking about Paris or Mr. X anymore. They started seeing a bigger picture. Like maybe this wasn't just one scandal. Maybe it was a pattern that had been repeating again and again. She shines, she wins hearts, she rebuilds. Then boom, something cracks. And the same chaos follows her. Wherever she goes, different cities, different people, but always the same story. She arrives, she dazzles, she falls. And people began wondering if it was bad luck, media cruelty, or something deeper. Maybe she had learned how to use sympathy like a shield, twisting every downfall into another rebirth. Maybe the illusion wasn't breaking at all. Maybe this was how she kept it alive. And that's what made everyone stop and think, was this just another scandal? Or the truth finally catching up to her?
Always stay with the man if there's no better option. I know that they have troubles in the marriage. I understand from now 6 separately reliable sources that Harry called in law.
So the wild thing about all this is how people started fighting over what was really happening. Because some critics swore Meghan had everything planned, like a chess game, saying every dress, every speech, every scandal was just part of a big plan to keep her name shining in the headlines. While her supporters said, no, this isn't a game, it's survival. She's just a woman who keeps getting punished for trying to live her life her way, and the world won't let her breathe. But when you look closer, the facts keep repeating themselves like a song stuck on replay. Each time she steps back into the spotlight, something happens. A leak, a rumor, a fight. And then she disappears again, only to come back like she never left. And that's why people started saying, maybe this isn't bad luck. Maybe it's choreography. Maybe every quiet moment, every teary photo, every big comeback was part of a rhythm she learned to control, because in the world of fame, nothing happens twice by accident. And maybe, just maybe, she knew exactly what she was doing, because the Paris scandal wasn't really about who paid for the trip. It was about how much truth she was willing to sacrifice to keep the story perfect. By the time the noise started to fade, the damage was already carved deep. The fairy tale trip had turned into a mirror, showing everyone what fame really costs. The photos that once looked confident and royal now seemed haunted, like her smiles were carrying secrets. Her eyes looked tired, her laughter forced like every picture, hid the truth of sleepless nights behind closed doors. The tension between her and Harry was impossible to ignore. People close to them said the warmth was gone, replaced by silence and distance. And for a couple once united against the world, it felt like something had cracked wide open. And while the media tore her apart again, the people who once adored her started stepping back. Sponsors stayed quiet, invitations vanished, and slowly Meghan went from being the story everyone wanted to tell to the story no one wanted to touch, because her name now carried too much weight, Too much mystery, too much risk. And inside all that glitter, her team tried to spin new headlines. But the world wasn't buying it anymore because the questions just wouldn't stop. Who leaked the invoices? Who funded her trip? And why would someone go through so much trouble to build her up only to tear her down? Was it betrayal or strategy? Was it revenge or just the end of an illusion? And the more people asked, the bigger the pattern looked. Because this wasn't just about Paris. It was about every chapter of her public life. Every time she tried to reinvent herself, it followed the same cycle. A grand entrance, all eyes on her, a storm of praise. Then slowly cracks start showing, and before anyone can blink, everything falls apart again. New city, new cause, same ending. It's like she's caught in a loop of sparkle and chaos, and people are finally wondering, is it fate or design? Because maybe this isn't random. Maybe it's how the machine of fame really works, turning stories into performances and emotions into headlines. And as analysts kept digging, they realized this wasn't just about Meghan. It was about how modern fame eats itself, how every illusion of control comes with a price tag. And when that bill arrives, it doesn't care who you are, Duchess or not. The story takes what it's owed. Maybe the public will move on. Maybe they won't. But those questions stay floating in the air like ghosts who exposed the truth, who pulled the strings. And if every time she rebuilds her life, it collapses again, then what's left, holding the foundation together? Maybe we'll never know the full truth, but one thing is sure, every smile, every post, every headline is part of something much bigger, something that blurs the line between reinvention and deception. And if you really want to see how deep this pattern runs, go watch our previous investigation about Meghan's mother revealing the shocking truth about Archie and Lilibet, because that's where the curtain gets pulled back even more. And trust me, the connections hiding there will change everything you thought you knew.
She will find a way to bounce past him to some other taker who might actually just love the guy. She will take her royal kids who can still go by prince and princess and find